of the city, City Hall security, including the demonstrators and our officers. None have reported injuries at this time. And although we made 4 arrests, we also were able to do so without uses of force, which once again speaks to the high caliber professionalism of our officers working in really difficult, complex situations and doing so appropriately, meeting those high standards and expectations that Portlanders have. The disappointment about last night is not only the behavior we witnessed in City Hall and the actual threat to members of City Council, but also the impact it has on the greater city, and that's what I want to speak to for just a moment. Last night's response required nearly every available police officer that was working in the city of Portland. And we were relying upon our outside agency partners. Thank you to them for supporting us by taking those priority calls that we were not able to get to, but for a significant amount of time last night, we were having to tell Portlanders that we could not meet their immediate emergency needs because of our attention down at City Hall. We will always prioritize free speech. We believe strongly in that, and the Portland Police Bureau is a science-based dialogue approach always to First Amendment rights. But as I've said from the beginning, we are not going to be tolerating vandalism or violence or threats of violence, and that's clearly the behavior that led to City Hall calling us last night. We were made aware ahead of time that there was going to be an event, but we were not there. That's not been our approach. We rely upon City Hall, and our City Hall partner, security there, does a fantastic job. They reached out to us when it got to a point where it was no longer safe, and they were able to manage it, and we went over and supported them, working off of their direction, their trespass orders, etc. So really good teamwork on the part of the city. Disappointed that it came to that. Public places such as City Hall and council meetings should be a place for everybody to come and express their opinion, not shy away from the dissidents, but to do so in a way that really prioritizes safety for everyone. So thank you. Yeah.
What would you have to say, just being devil's advocate here, for people who see this as like police overreach and that they were just trying to protest and express their First Amendment right and there was no need to arrest people? What would be your comment to that?
Right. So my response to that is a couple of things. One, we are living in a heightened state of sensitivity, particularly for our elected officials, and violence directed towards our elected officials. That's just a reality of what we're seeing both on a federal and on a local level. So we are sensitive to that and aware of that, and we take those threats very seriously. Second of all, there was a demonstration of intent last night that we hadn't seen, where somebody actually attempted to or was successful getting over the dais, which is unique. That is a raised level of concern. There was a large number of people who were uncooperative last night. Security had several blocking the entrance to City Hall. They had several blocking, the second floor and offices. So really felt like it did require an appropriate level of response for us to be able to maintain order and provide that level of safety and security for, all city staffers. This isn't just about elected officials. I mean, these are city employees that are there supporting them as well. And of course, our Portland Police Bureau members are city and Portland employees. And the mayor's priority is safety for all Portlanders, but certainly priority the safety of our employees so that they can effectively serve the city as a whole.
Chief Day, the department says there were about 50 to 55 protesters and about 26 cops. That's about 1 officer for every 2 protesters. What do you say to protesters who think the response was excessive and disproportionate to the situation?
Yeah, well, actually, that number of officers I would like to have seen exponentially higher. The importance, as we continue to emphasize the need to have a fully resourced, fully staffed police department to meet the emerging trends and challenges that we're facing as a major city, are not going away. And we send that amount of resources for a couple different reasons, not only for the safety of our officers, but for the safety of community. As I said, we were able to make the arrest last night, address the issues, provide that security to City Hall, and do so in a way with little to no force. And so more officers does not necessarily always equate to more force or over response. Actually, more officers allows all of us to move about more safely, to resolve the issue more quickly. We do take a dialogue approach. There's plenty of warnings given last night. I know by security there's many attempts made to de-escalate before we actually have to go hands-on. And to arrest 40 out of 40 to 50 people, I'd say that was good judgment.
How concerned are you about this apparent escalation in the protesters' tactics, and what can you do as an agency to kind of gear up if you expect to see more of it? Do you expect to see more of this? And what can you do to gear up?
Well, we're certainly seeing increased intensity, particularly in these City Hall public hearings, which, as I said earlier, is very disappointing and very unsettling. That is a place that should be available to all Portlanders during all public hearings. And last night's escalation certainly raises everybody's level of awareness. When we know of a protest or a planned event, we work closely with City Hall. We knew last night that there would probably be some demonstration. We didn't know to what extent, but this will definitely inform our future responses and staffing and so forth, which once again may be a drain on the city and on the police bureau to be able to meet that demand.
And so, do you have any hesitancy about talking about this in light of the fact that there may be some protesters who say, oh good, we disrupted the police response to other parts of the city? Does that concern you?
No, we're always going to be transparent. I mean, the police bureau is going to continue to show up every day, just as we've done for the 2.5 years I've been here and the many decades before. We're going to continue to show up every day. We're going to continue to respond to the best of our ability to meet the demands and the expectations of Portlanders, to provide that level of safety and security that everybody deserves. There will be some who may interpret this as a win on their part because of that disruption. We will continue to mitigate that. We're also, not just showing up in that space, but we're working with the district attorney's office. We're working with City Hall security. There are other options, to move everything to an online format, to lock the building. There are ways to mitigate this risk if Portlanders are not able to demonstrate that they can do so in a professional manner.
Are those talks that are happening, like, are there plans to lock the building, put meetings all virtual?
There's no plans at this time. There's no plans at this time that I'm aware of, but we do have those kind of options. You saw them last night move to a virtual setting. I would be remiss to speak too boldly for council, but my expectation is they want to continue to have a very transparent public process. But I have heard from councilors that were concerned about their safety last night. They were concerned about the safety of their staff. So those are decisions they will make. They are not decisions that we will. We obviously will offer any recommendations we have around increased security, but really working with their staff and working with City Hall and working with City Manager and the Mayor, that's where those decisions will be made.
Have you arrested the suspect in the PCC stalking case? If not, what progress has the department made in trying to locate him?
Yeah, so my understanding is, in fact, there were phone calls made today that actively looking for the person you're talking about at 82nd and somewhere out there, 82nd Division, Southeast Campus. Yes. So I got briefed on that today, and I can't say that we have a named suspect, but I can say that there's a person that we are looking for. There's a person of interest, and that there is active effort being made to try and take that person into custody. I would hope today, but we're definitely working it.
We were under the impression that his name wasn't being released intentionally. Is that the case? If so, why?
Tommy, Chief's not totally briefed up on this. Obviously, he has a whole bureau he's working with. I'll talk to you off camera here about that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
As far as you're aware, is this the first time that a protester has crossed that testimony table and approached council?
As far as I'm aware, yeah, that certainly is concerning and definitely takes some effort to get across that. So, yeah. All right, folks. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. Have a good day.
All right, so hearing there from Portland Police Bureau Chief Bob Day about that last night, and also another question there about the incidents going on out at Southeast 82nd Division as well, thrown in there at the end. We've got plenty of coverage of that at kptv.com also, so things for you to take a look there. But you need to take a break, and you may see the programming switch for just a minute while we gear up for our next guests. So at 2 o'clock, we're going to be speaking to future at least, Portland Wrestling Hall of Fame member Lenny the Grappler Denton, and also Nicholas Massey, who are running the Portland Wrestling Expo, which is taking place this weekend. So switching gears a little bit here. So that's coming up. We'll be back here in just a few with more Fox 12 Now.